Detective, do you know who is pictured in that photo?
Yes, sir, I do.
Who's that?
Detective Briscoe Gasperson?
And Detective Gasperson is not wearing foot protection?
No, sir, he's not.
This photo was also taken on the 16th?
Yes, sir.
Yet he is wearing gloves, correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So he's taking some precautions.
He's wearing gloves.
And what's he holding in his left hand?
That would be a Diet Coke.
Is that appropriate in investigating a crime scene from your experience?
If he was thirsty, yes, sir.
What, if anything, did you note about that bed, and what condition did you find it in compared to the way you see it there?
The whole bed was the same as it is on the far side. The statement that Brad made was that this is the room that she sleeps in. I thought that was unusual because the bed did not look like someone slept in it. It looked like somebody rolled the covers down but had not slept in it. I told Detective Desmond, I don't think anybody slept in the bed. I sat down in the bed and I got up and I said, you can see where there's wrinkles in the bed on this side. On the far side, there doesn't seem to be. There's no indentions on the pillow, as if somebody's head had been on a pillow.
Now, Detective, this is the bed that you have characterized as appearing as if it had not been slept in. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
How is it that you are making the determination as to when the bed was last slept in?
I was making a determination by looking at the bed. There was no creases in it. There was nothing in there that, to me, in my observation of it, it said that anyone had slept in. That's what I was. There was no indentions of a head print on the pillow or anything else like that. That was my impression of what I observed.
Well, when you say no indention of a head print on the pillow, do you know what kind of pillow it was?
As you mean, as far as manufacturer, what's in it?
What's in it? If it's down, if it's...
No, I don't, sir.
You've testified that on July 12th, you had made it clear that Brad was not a suspect.
Yes, sir.
Yet, you testified that your statement at that point, looking at the bed, was that it did not appear to have been slept in.
And the reason why I said that on the 12th was based upon the fact that that's what it looked like. It's not based upon any suspicion of Mr. Cooper at that point.
And at that point, you decided to perform a test.
At that point, all I was showing Adam, Detective Desmukes, was that it didn't look like I slept in the bed, and I said, look at the difference. The difference was when I sat down and stepped back up, you can see a crease in the bed.
But you didn't take a picture before you sat in the bed.
No, because we had walked through first, and then the picture was taken afterwards.
And you didn't note that you had sat down on the bed in any of your notes or narratives?
No.
In fact, no one had noted that in any of their notes or narratives.
No.
And
No.
you're aware that the bedding was actually sent off to the State Bureau of Investigation for testing.
Yes, sir.
They were going to test for bodily fluids and potentially for fibers.
Yes, sir.
You didn't tell the SBI that you had personally sat on the bed prior to them testing it.
No, I didn't, but I didn't deal with the SBI. But no, they were never told. I don't think they were informed of it.
You do understand the potential that your sitting on the bed would actually contaminate an item prior to having it tested?
Yes, sir, that's a possibility. But on the 12th, again, we were looking for a missing person. But yes, to answer your question.
But at the point that you actually gave it to the SBI, you didn't note it for them so that they could make an elimination of you as potentially having left evidence on the bed?
No, we did not. That was not given to them.
The reason that you actually went to that athlete's foot in the first place, the reason why you contacted them, that was because of something Mr. Cooper told you, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. In one of the interviews, either on the 13th or the 14th, Brad had advised that Nancy purchased shoes from a specialty store in Cameron Village. Matt Thomas advised that no returns of any items purchased would show on their computer for that athlete's foot, and specifically for no other athlete's foot.
And as a result of finding that on the receipt, you looked through the house, the photographs of the house and the items that you had seized to see if that pair of shoes was amongst them.
I did try to account for that pair of shoes. Yes, sir.
And you were unable to.
Yes, sir. But I was also unable to determine whether they had been returned or not. In addition, Cary Police Detectives Daniel Dismukes, an applicant, learned that Nancy Cooper purchased a pair of Saucony running shoes on September 4th, 2006, from the athlete's foot located at 2035 Cameron Street, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27605. The particular business confirmed that a credit, in quotation marks, pertaining to a return of these running shoes was never issued by that particular store. However, the business could not provide information regarding whether these running shoes were returned at another location of the athlete's foot.
Testified moments ago that even that athlete's foot store would not be able to say if a credit had ever been issued.
It would not show on their computer. I didn't say it wouldn't show on their credit card records, which is what this application is for.
But that's not what you said in here, is it?
Yes, sir. I stated that the business could not provide information regarding whether these running shoes were returned at another location of the athlete's foot, because they couldn't provide it because they didn't capture returns on the loyalty customer.
Actually, doesn't it say in the previous sentence, the particular business confirmed that a credit pertaining to a return of these running shoes was never issued by that particular store?
Based upon the loyalty.
Is that what you wrote?
That's what I typed. Yes, sir.
Based upon the loyalty records? Could you show me that?
No, sir. I'm explaining this document.
If you'd look to the entry on July 25th, that entry that says 8 through 12, that includes the IBM ThinkPad, does it not?
Yes, sir, it does. The ThinkPad is item number 8.
And on that day, does it indicate you as transferring custody of the item?
Yes, sir. I gave custody and responsibility to Detective Bonner.
Now, in actuality, was that the individual that you gave the equipment to?
No, sir.
Who did you give it to?
The equipment was not given to Detective Bonin in the sense of me handing a pen to you and transferring custody. The responsibility for that property and the chain of custody was given to him due to the items 8 through 12 and I believe some additional ones, but specifically 8 through 12 as it applies to this sheet. They were secured within the computer lab that could only be accessed by Detective Ice, Detective Thomas, or Denise Costello, our evidence custodian.
At the point that you transferred the item to Detective Bonin, the item was in the computer room.
Yes, sir.
Detective Thomas had a key to the computer room,
Yes, sir.
along with Detective Ice and Ms. Schwartz, or Officer Schwartz.
Denise Schwartz Costello.
And at no point in your narratives do you note any distinction in how you transferred custody of this item from any other item?
No, sir.
On the 15th at 5:55 in the morning, I was dispatched to the 4700 block of Fielding Drive in regard to securing the crime scene to relieve night shift.
Area, did you note anything about the shoulders of the road and make any observations about what you saw in that area?
I observed there were no houses built on that cul-de-sac. I saw hay, or what appeared to be like a hay substance that was covering grass,
Okay.
like when you grow new grass. At 2:25 in the afternoon, I was dispatched to 104 Wallsburg Court to provide security for Mr. Cooper. I then proceeded to the front door and knocked on the door. Mr. Cooper came to the door, and I advised him, I asked him if it would be okay if I could come into the house with him while a search warrant was being drawn.
And how did he respond to that?
He said yes.
Okay. As you entered the front door, did you note anything?
I did. As the front door opened, the way the sunlight, there's a area rug that was inside the house by the front door, and I observed a piece of what appeared to be like a straw substance, like a hay, on that carpet.
And once you step inside the house, you believe that you see something that appears to be hay on the rug in the front.
I saw it as the door was opening. Before I had stepped inside was when I saw the first one.
At that point, you go in the house with Mr. Cooper, and he allows you to follow him around, essentially, and talk with him.
Correct.
At some point, Mr. Cooper asks if he could go upstairs and take a shower.
Correct.
You remain downstairs while he's in the shower.
Yes, sir.
You have full run of the lower level of the house at this point.
Yes, sir.
You do not take that opportunity to photograph what you've characterized as hay on the carpet.
No, sir.
You don't sketch where it is that this material was on the carpet.
No, sir.
You don't collect it as potential evidence in the case.
No, sir, I did not.
Shortly afterwards, you spoke again with Detective Daniels. Detective Daniels was contacted with respect to whether or not Mr. Cooper could take car seats out of his vehicle, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
So you did speak with Detective Daniels.
Yes, sir.
And during that conversation, you do not tell Detective Daniels that you had found something that you thought might be hay on that front carpet.
I do not believe I did.
You recall that in your original narrative, the one that you did on July 15th, narrative 30, that you talk about being dispatched to Fielding Drive in regard to securing the crime scene.
Correct.
Then on May 13th, 2010, which I believe would be some roughly 20 months later, you add information to that prior narrative by saying, while on site, I observed what appeared to be hay that was used to cover up new grass seed growing in the area of the location.
Correct.
Prior to May of 2010, you had not noted that anywhere in your narratives or notes.
No.
Do you recall Detective Young brought 5 photographs to you and showed them to you of the house?
He showed photographs. I don't remember how many, though.
And after reviewing the photographs, which were of the front entryway, correct?
Yes, sir.
Photos taken on the 12th and the 16th of July?
I don't know the dates when the photos were taken.
And you recall not actually observing any hay in any of those photos?
No, I did not observe hay in the photos.
When you spoke with Detective Daniels, did you ever advise him that the rug in the front entryway should be taken into evidence?
No, I did not.
Are you aware that it was not taken into evidence?
No, I'm